please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients, like former Prince Andrew.
There is a question that keeps coming up every single time Pam Bondi sits in front of Congress, and she has never given a straight answer to it. The question is not complicated. It is not a trick. It is the most basic question you can ask the person running the Department of Justice when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. Who are you protecting? Now, before you watch this exchange, here is what you need to understand about the bigger picture. Epstein ran what Trump's own Commerce Secretary called the greatest blackmail operation in history. Over $1 billion flowed through his accounts between 2003 and 2019, more than 4,700 wire transfers, hundreds of millions from Wall Street financiers. According to the Senate Finance Committee, Russian-sanctioned banks were involved in some of those transfers. The Treasury Department has a file containing all of this. Senator Ron Wyden sent Bondi a letter with a detailed roadmap telling her exactly where to look and exactly what to investigate. She has not followed a single lead. Now, the files have been partially released, and here is what we know about those releases so far. The names of powerful men connected to Epstein have been redacted repeatedly. Trump's name was reportedly blacked out multiple times before Congressman Thomas Massie caught it live on camera and forced the DOJ to unredact it. Survivors' names, faces, and in some cases, nude photographs were exposed carelessly in the releases, while the names of the powerful men who abused them were carefully hidden. The DOJ has not indicted a single Epstein co-conspirator, not one. In years of investigations across multiple administrations, nobody who paid for access to Epstein's operation has faced a single charge. And now Congressman Ted Lieu is sitting across from Bondi with 2 photographs, and he is about to ask a question that cuts right to the heart of all of it. Watch very carefully how she responds.
Now I recognize the gentleman
20.
from California, Mr. Lieu.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for being here today. I'm going to show you 2 photos.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you 2 photos of former Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Under the law Congress passed, you were allowed to redact photos to protect the victims of Epstein's sex trafficking operation. You redacted the photos of this victim's face because you were following the congressional law. Is that correct?
I'm sorry that we redacted the victim's
Because you were
face?
following the congressional law, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have now established that please put the photos back up, that we are looking at a sex trafficking victim. Under the Federal Victims Trafficking Protection Act, not only is Jeffrey Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronizes Epstein's sex operation is also guilty of a crime. That's why I find it absolutely despicable that you sought to protect Epstein's clients, like former Prince Andrew. Last July, you closed the case on Epstein's abusers. The July 2025 memo from your Department of Justice stated, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." These 2 photos, please put the photos back up. These 2 photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew. So I ask you, Attorney General Pam Bondi, why did you shut down this investigation last July, and why have you not prosecuted former Prince Andrew?
I don't believe you asked Merrick Garland these questions when he was Attorney General and set before.
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Never
I agree with
mentioned
you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr. as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures, but you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable, and you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
Can I
question.
answer your question about protecting
You answered the
Andrew?
question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince. Here's a video. Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your
released.
answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please
I'd like
stop
to
the clock.
reclaim my
Please
time.
stop the clock.
The legislation.
Time.
This is
Time.
this
I'd like
is
to reclaim my
ridiculous.
time.
Time belongs to the gentleman from
Okay.
California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
May I respond?
Yeah, I don't know how you respond. No one can.
I did
Well,
not
can
ask a
respond,
question,
but
Mr.
He
Head.
doesn't
You're
want
allowed
to talk
to.
about
I did
the
not ask a
horrific
question.
crime in California. He does not want to talk about
I did not ask a
crime
question.
in his
She
state.
can't just
Madam
ad
Attorney
lib
General.
stuff.
Going
I
after
did not ask a
Donald Trump.
question.
Meeting will be in order. The gentleman has yielded back his time.
So here is what you just watched. And here is what the full picture looks like when you put it all together. Congressman Lieu showed Bondi 2 photographs of Prince Andrew at a party with Jeffrey Epstein. He established on the record with Bondi's own confirmation that the person in those photographs is a sex trafficking victim. He then cited the federal law that makes not just Epstein guilty, but anyone who patronized his operation also guilty of a crime. And then he asked her directly, why did you close this investigation? Why have you not prosecuted Prince Andrew? She had no real answer. Now, here is where this gets more serious than just one uncomfortable hearing exchange. The DOJ's July 2025 memo said they found no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. That was their official position. No evidence. Case closed. But think about what Congressman Lieu put on that table. 2 photographs of a documented sex trafficking victim with a named individual at a party. That is not a rumor. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is photographic evidence sitting inside the Epstein files that the DOJ itself released. And the same DOJ that released those photographs said there was no evidence to investigate anyone. How can both of those things be true at the same time? And that is before you get to the witness statement Lieu produced, a man who drove Trump in a limousine and called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. He reported overhearing a phone call. He reported meeting a girl who told him she had been assaulted. He reported what happened to that girl afterward. He called the FBI. He went through official channels He did everything a witness is supposed to do. Nobody at the Department of Justice ever interviewed him, not under Garland, not under Barr, not under Acosta, and not under Bondi. Now, here is the question that all of this keeps building toward. The Treasury Department has a complete financial roadmap of how Epstein's operation was funded. More than $1 billion, thousands of wire transfers, hundreds of millions from named Wall Street financiers. Senator Wyden gave Bondi that roadmap personally in July 2025 and asked her to follow the money. She has not followed it. The Epstein Files Transparency Act was passed by Congress and signed by Trump himself, requiring full release of all files. Bondi missed the legal deadline. When subpoenaed to appear under oath before the House Oversight Committee, she showed up to a closed-door briefing that was not under oath instead, refused to commit to a real deposition, and Democrats walked out in protest. She has released 3 million documents. But in those 3 million documents, the names of powerful men keep getting blacked out. Survivors keep getting exposed. And not a single person who paid for access to Epstein's operation has been charged. So here is the question this entire investigation keeps asking. Epstein did not operate alone. He had clients. He had financiers. He had people who knew, and according to Trump's own Commerce Secretary, people who participated. The money trail exists. The witness statements exist. The photographs exist. The files exist. And the one person with the power to follow all of it, to interview the witnesses, to unredact the names, to follow the money, to actually hold someone accountable, keeps finding reasons not to. Is she protecting the survivors? Their identities were exposed while powerful men stayed hidden. Is she protecting the public interest? The legal deadline was missed and the subpoena was dodged. Or is she protecting someone else entirely? We do not know the answer to that question yet, but over 1,000 survivors are still waiting for it. And the longer that answer is delayed, the more seriously you have to ask why. If you think this kind of accountability coverage matters, subscribe and stay with us. This story is nowhere near finished.